So I have my flower vortex pewter button there that I think goes really nicely with my silver beads, so that'll be nice on the end. And I did use a hook and eye so that way she could get a little bow look out of the leather. All she did was use a copper hook and then use the eye part, which is a figure 8, to stop the leather from coming through. So you can do that too if you want. I'm simply going to attach my button and have it be really easy. What I'm going to do to start is to double over my leather. Again, I'm using 1.5 millimeter Greek leather in the brown color, and I have about 20 inches here. I'm going to double it over and put the edges together, and all I'm going to do right now is literally drop it into my project and just work it and feed it through. You want to make sure that it doesn't pop out anywhere. And just like if you've ever put an end back into a sweatshirt, same idea. You're just forcing it through. And you want it to pop out that end there, so you're just going to kind of continue to push. And you can see it takes a little bit of wiggling, and there it is coming out the end. Hopefully both ends come out if you push them together. And what I'm going to do to stop my leather from coming through completely, because it could completely come through the project, is I'm just going to tie a knot. Like I said, Anna did a figure 8 there. I'm just going to tie my knot. To do that, I'm going to make my loop big enough that it can fit my button through, but not so big that I'm going to see a lot of extra leather showing. So I want it to basically be the circumference there of my button to the side. So I'm going to hold there so I know where to tie my knot. Just an overhand knot. I'm going to loop that to create my loop. That knot then is going to stop it from going through my actual canal bracelet. You want to pull that tight, and when you do, just make sure one more time that that button fits through. I'm going to pull my bracelet right down there to the knot, and the knot gets hidden on the underside of the bracelet. That's because I stopped the Tila beads one before the end. Anna did the opposite, that she added the Tila to the end, so that's up to you which look you want. If you want to see the knot and you want to see that figure 8, you can stop on the top, or you can actually start that one back. I have it concealed there. When I'm coming out this other side, what I'm going to do is also tie a knot with those two ends, just an overhand knot. I'm going to slip that knot right down so that it mimics the other side. Pulling nice and tight, and there I have my leather through it. To add my button, I'm going to pick up one side of leather and take it through the back shank of the button. I want to make sure that my button has enough room that it's not going to hit my project. So I want to just make sure when I do tie it now that I'm going to leave a little bit of room for it to pull against the project. A tiny bit, your project is going to curl up as the leather gets pulled. So you want to make sure to kind of push that across. And then on this side here, on the underside, I'm going to do another knot. If you want to, and you have a button that has a big enough shank, or you want to use a rondelle, you can put both beads or both pieces of leather through that. So it's going to depend on what type of clasp you're using. But I have my, you can see I'm giving a lot of tension. I have my two knots right there, and my vortex button is going to sit right in the middle. If you like the look of the leather and you want to keep the ends, you can do that. I'm going to hide them and conceal them. It is now glue time for me. So I'm going to get my SuperDuo glue out. And the first thing I'm going to do is glue my thread ends, where I added my thread and then as well at the end here. So I'm going to glue my thread. And you want to try to make sure not to use too much glue, or it will actually glue at your leather too, which is not what we want. I'm going to drop that on there. That way if you would ever need to take the leather out, make it for somebody else, it's a good, easy, you need a little bit longer, use a little bit more, a different piece of leather. Here on the end, near the leather, if you want to, you can use an epoxy glue like E6000, which is going to be a little bit better on your leather. I'm just going to use some SuperDuo glue. And what I'm doing basically is gluing that knot closed. So I'm just going to try to drop my glue right inside the knot and have 2 or 3 little drops. That way you won't see it too much. And it's going to glue that end down. Once you have those on, I'm going to take my thread burner And I like to turn my thread burner on first before I actually put it to my project, so that way it's nice and hot and starts burning right away. I'm going to burn those thread ends down. Come back here. Burn that one down as well. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is, after that SuperDuo glue, which dries really quick, so that's nice, I'm going to go in and trim these down. Again, if you want to keep them longer so you get that leather look, that's up to you. I'm going to trim them down with my scissors so that way they kind of hide behind my vortex button. Then my project is completely done. You can just take your leather and put it on. I made this a little bit bigger than what I would actually wear. I tend to have a smaller wrist, so I try to make some things standard size so that way I'm not tempted to keep everything. So it's a little bit big on me, but I actually like that length. So anyway, that's how you're going to finish off your bracelet. Again, if you need to make it longer or shorter, you can easily do that by using more leather inside. You can create a bow and that figure 8 if you want, and create that clasp so that way you actually see the leather more so than what I've done here. You could also make it multiple or longer in length and do memory wire in the middle. So this is a good idea to do with anything that is actually tubular in shape or that you can run down the middle. This is a great way to make it flexible for changing up the size of the bracelet need be, or even just to add a fun little extra touch to your seed bead projects. Hopefully this gives you some great ideas. It's a great little design by Anna, and this canal bracelet uses some of our great new materials, including our RounDuo beads, and then also some of the Half-Tilas, which have been around for a while, but more and more I'm seeing them kind of pop up back again in designs. So hopefully if you get a chance, you can follow us on our YouTube page by subscribing. If you need any of these materials, again, they're right at the beginning of the video. You can pause there, or you can do show more right underneath the details of this video, and that'll give you links to the products. If you do need the products, you can also visit our Potomac Bead Company locations. You can visit the location or see the locations by going to PotomacBeads.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and check out all the fun things that we've made. Watch more videos and get your hand on some of these awesome products. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and have fun making the Panama Canal Bracelet.